Now, I expect that we as the internet are smart enough and have seen enough of Miss Girl's interviews to know that the reason they fired her is not because she's not white as snow or whatever, but it's because she literally trashed the movie she's the star of. So that's why. No hating.
Let's get one thing straight. Adriana Caselotti walked so that you could run Miss Ma'am. This role would not exist for you if that role had not existed for her in 1937.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
If you talk shit, it's going to come back. There's something called cause and effect. We don't just sit around and say, yeah, we grew up watching this movie called Snow White in all these other countries, and all of a sudden you show up and we have to...
People would stop sending me death threats.
Right. Every time that a celebrity gets like one DM that says KYS, they're like, I'm getting death threats! Someone say—
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
So I'm sure we all knew this day was coming, right? Ever since the Rachel Zegler backlash started, it was obvious that there would be repercussions for her career because you can't just come out and say the things that she said about Snow White, about fans, and not face repercussions and backlash. Hey, I'm Kat. Welcome back to Rumor Has It.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film.
You might be getting worried if you're one of the thousands of fans eagerly awaiting the Snow White remake, especially in light of what the lead actress, Rachel Zegler, has been saying that generated so much online buzz. Zegler revealed in a December 2022 interview with Gal Gadot for Entertainment Weekly that she'd only seen the first Snow White animated movie once before seeing it again after getting the role. The actress went on to say that she didn't particularly enjoy it. And it doesn't really end there, there's more. In a separate interview from last year, also in September, Zegler, while speaking with Variety, was asked what she meant when she said she was bringing a modern style and edge to her Snow White character. The 22-year-old actress said, "I just mean that it's no longer 1937," before being interrupted by Gadot, who said that Snow White was not going to be saved by the prince. Zegler continued, "She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true." In an entirely different interview with Extra TV, she goes on to imply as if the Prince Charming in the original movie were some kind of stalker, despite the pair only interacting once before the end of the movie. The prince was barely a character in the first film, with very little substance, and the actress appears to joke that removing him entirely may even be better because this remake wasn't a love story. As quoted in a video now online, Zegler said, "The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird, weird. So we didn't do that this time. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people assume is a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie." A YouTuber who goes by the name of Aldun made a video titled Disney's Snow White Problem, which by the time of this video has over 100,000 views. He goes on to say, "And even though I've had my issues with the loud mouths of the anti-woke crowd creating pathetic excuses for milking content, this is a movie that clearly panders toward being woke in the butchering of the original film even before its release. And that's mainly due to the fact Snow White's main actress herself, Rachel Zegler."
And even though I've had my issues with the loudmouths of the anti-woke crowd creating pathetic excuses for milking content, this is a movie that clearly panders towards being woke and the butchering of the original film even before its release. And that's mainly due to the fact of Snow White's main actress herself, Rachel Zegler.
And continues with his train of thought about the actress's actions with, "What we witness with Rachel Zegler is the complete opposite. How more and more videos come out of her showing that she carries such an arrogant attitude to the story she's not actually understanding and refuses to understand the points about making them in the first place. The one where she and Gal Gadot actually explained that this story still continues Disney's trend of female empowerment that actually degrades the females in the process by making them girl bosses and leaders."
Rachel, instead, is the complete opposite. How more and more videos come out of her showing that she carries such an arrogant attitude to the story she is not actually understanding, and refuses to understand the points about making them in the first place.
Aldun went on to explain how the film does still hold up really well and wasn't just about a prince saving her in the end. explaining that Snow White ending up with the prince was simply just a bonus in the long run. Elaborating that despite amazing directors and scriptwriters, these remade films don't feel as though any love has been put into them. They're just simply something to gain easy money, unwilling to understand the story in the first place to give the viewers a new experience, too scared to do something new because of the chance it won't do well. He goes on to say, it is the attitude that she's displaying that showcased the ignorance of the story overall, where the funny thing about this is how she and I are exactly the same age, 22, and she's only about 3 months older than me, where I'm baffled I have a better understanding of this movie than she actually does, because I'm just truly a pathetic Disney fan who keeps watching them after all they've done recently. That I still care about these stories and want them to succeed because I love this company and what it was able to do, that I know the movie had much more to offer than what they're willing to do, that she herself actually ignored willingly. It's gotten to the point many individuals online believe Disney has run out of ideas and real genuine stories with heart. It's exactly how fans are now interpreting the recent pattern of Disney making live adaptations of their old-timer classics. Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, and now Snow White, which has now been delayed until 2024. When a popular account on X, used to be Twitter, Film Update shared a post asking other users to name a role they think was perfectly cast. A user by the name of Sanjay posted a picture of Halle in her Little Mermaid costume, which Rachel later retweeted to show her support. But as we found out, Zegler might have just lost it all as the consequences for her comments. Snow White isn't even the first film the actress has spoken lightly of. While speaking to Hollywood Reporter at the event for Shazam! Fury of the Gods premiere, the actress, in a not-so-likable manner, stated how she joined the DC universe. When asked why she joined, she said needed a job before adding, "I'm being so serious," she added. "The reality is we're in the middle of a pandemic and I was not working and I couldn't get a job for the life of me because West Side Story hadn't come out yet. It was really hard to book work for me." Shazam ended up with a low box office and a 49% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. However, the actress later tried to make amends on social media, saying, "Some people out there are just being senseless and mean, and it's unnecessary. And I know if you can't handle the heat and all that nonsense, and you're right, but our film was actually very good. It's just cool to hate on fun nowadays. That's okay, we're good." Fans believe that the upcoming Snow White movie may confirm this. While the actress eagerly awaits the release of The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and Snow White, her recently released remarks may not be of much use to her and could potentially have a negative effect on how well these films do at the box office. In an interview with DailyMail.com, PR specialist Nick Eade acknowledged that it's possible that Zegler's remarks will have an impact on her upcoming films. Eade also noted that despite the fact that Zegler plays the main character, Zegler might not be the best candidate to promote the movie because she's currently giving away plot details. Who knows what will happen to the movie though? Only time will tell, and I'll see you in the next video. Tell me in the comments what you think.